I took the fall for everything in my videos. I made a 20-minute video defending myself because there's things that you said that needed to be clarified. Because I didn't want you to be hurt anymore. I didn't want people to attack you anymore. And now I'm on the receiving end of so much criticism. I'm losing subscribers and likes like crazy. I'm asking you for mercy. I have no idea how you can be doing this to me and feel no remorse for it. I'm completely oblivious to how you can live with this. How can you do this to another human being? Just so you know, because of what you've done, because of the way you've slandered me, because of the lies you've told, because of the fact that you've completely ignored me and you've completely humiliated me publicly, I was hoping that you would actually answer your phone and deal with me like a human being. Because of all of this, I'm going to reveal every single detail. Every detail. And then everyone will know exactly who you are.
Yes, Onision, after this video, everyone is going to know exactly who you are. Your time is up, and your time is now.
Yes, you have. You destroyed everything.
I hope you're happy. You completely destroyed all of my pride.
I would have actually wanted to pursue this sister, and I would have had to wait a few years because she was 15 and I was 18.
You're the worst human being I have ever experienced.
Hi, I'm back everyone in my epic form. Please sub to my channel so I can prove to my mum I'm a real YouTuber. Thanks. Now, Onision, the bacterial infection himself, will be exposed and removed in my recycle bin after this video is released. Because God help if my Nancy's my search history.
What?
Let me just lay a foundation for you quickly just to have an insight of what sort of person Onision is. Did you know that he actually used to have an open submission where girls could post inappropriate images of themselves that he would rate out of 10 in a video? The main point being, most of these girls were actually barely over the legal age. Oh, you didn't know that? Good, because neither did I. So I'm glad I'm not the only one.
We are a problem. We are a problematic couple of guys.
Onision is the kind of man to make life advice videos when he's made a terrible mistake. A man who allegedly, and manipulates people, giving life advice. Holy crap! Bruh. Enough of this. I'm just bullying now. Okay, I'd like to say that everything in this video is alleged and most of it has been taken from the internet and not everything is concrete evidence. So please don't send harassment as this video is for educational purposes. Me teaching education. I took a fat D while I was in my chemistry class. Maybe my teacher was Onision. Alright, let's get serious. This video is going to contain a lot of information because in the last few days, all of Onision's victims and past spouses have literally come forward on Twitter to form an alliance purely to take down Onision. So we're going to be looking at all the tweets, all the things that have been brought up on Twitter, and literally expose Onision for the pure onion he is. I don't like onions, so that's what my point is. I'd firstly like to say that my last video I made on Onision was mainly focused on the Sarah situation, so I suggest you watch that first, but if not, I mean, it's fine. I'm not about to manipulate you like Onision does to his audience. Now let's talk about Onision's first spouse. Now his first spouse was called Sky, who he dated for 5 years, and then they followed up with a divorce. Sky was then receiving spousal support, which is basically receiving money from your partner after a divorce. And the master manipulator himself publicly threatened to end his life if she didn't stop forcing him to pay spousal support. The only way I will be free of this debt that I have control over is killing myself. So unless I hear from you, unless you notify me that I no longer have to make payments, I'll take the only way out I know. I can't take this torture anymore. Bloody hell, it's only a payment. Jesus. And of course, this was shared publicly, but he did admit that this was a manipulative tactic that he used.
I mentioned that I publicly threatened to kill myself if she didn't stop forcing me to make alimony payments, and that is true. I did publicly threaten to kill myself. I have no defense for that because publicly threatening to kill yourself is really stupid, especially since that was a manipulative tactic and I had no actual intention of killing myself.
Onision, a manipulator? Wow. Wow. What's even more disturbing than that is that he admitted being attracted to an underage girl. Yeah, let's talk about that. So while he was with Sky, he wasn't as interested in her as he was in her little sister. Yeah, because they had more in common apparently. Well, I have a ton in common with my next door neighbor who is 56 years old. This man is medication.
I would have actually wanted to pursue this sister, and I would have had to wait a few years because she was 15 and I was 18.
According to Onision, if he didn't end up with the spouse he's currently with, he would have continued to pursue his wife's little sister. Only one thing I can say there. Nonce. Hi. Surely he couldn't have tried it with his, his wife's little sister. Is this a tweet? Oh my god. When I was 15 and got intoxicated during my rebel teens, he sat next to me after my friend left and tried to kiss me. I turned away horrified and ran across the room back toward my friend. So that means 𝔤𝔤𝔫𝔫 did try it on with her sister. But there's not really any concrete evidence to back this up, it's just allegedly. Now, interesting enough, Sky, you know, she's gone on a bit of a Twitter rant, so I thought now would be the greatest time to have a little speed run of her tweets. This is what she's been tweeting about 𝔤𝔤𝔫𝔫, which really, you know, opens some light on the kind of man he is. Aurelian, evil, Knievel. That's something my nan says, that's horrible, oh my god. 𝔤𝔤𝔫𝔫 was no contact for years, going about life in the real world. People in my life kept tabs for me, on and off, and was recently informed of the current situation. I am absolutely disgusted. I don't want any more people harmed by this abusive predator. I wonder, do you still f*** to of school girls being assaulted by tentacles every morning for 3 hours so that can concentrate on the rest of your day? Do you remember how you wanted me to stay at the house while you moved your new girlfriend in? Because if I really cared, I would continue to support you. Looks like you were trying to recreate your own effed up version of harem even then. Can someone tell me in the comments what that means? I have no clue. I wasn't educated on this. Is there a video? I don't know, because I'm just a normal human being who sits in his bedroom with no friends. Speaking of which, my sister has been playing a long game of Spec Ops and never wanted your 1/12 of a ruler, baby carrot. Hey, there's nothing wrong with micro penises now, right? Although my girlfriend would disagree. Wow, 𝔤𝔤𝔫𝔫 got small pee-pee, like a baby carrot. Ha, I ate baby carrots this morning for breakfast. You mean like the sort of baby carrots I feed to my guinea pigs? Bruh. That's right. I fed your penis to my guinea pigs. Quick question, why was 𝔤𝔤𝔫𝔫 begging my sister on his birthday to come out to New Mexico for 3 weeks to hang out, days before his current marriage? Do you feel like hanging out in New Mexico for 3 weeks after Thanksgiving? We could record a ton of content here. I could fly down and the road trip back. We will be back in town by the 18th. Can you text me then so we can relaunch your channel? 2 things. This was in 2012. I have no clue how old her sister was then, but the current marriage he's on about is the marriage between him and Kai, the victim. Remember guys, Kai's the victim. Well, that's about to change. Also, what sort of content are we talking about here? Hey, let's make our first collab about an abusive husband and wife who scream at each other all the time.
This seems all too familiar, doesn't it, guys?
Maybe 𝔤𝔤𝔫𝔫 thought he'd have a documentary of his own life on how manipulative he is of people. They have a baby together, so they always return to the baby telling it everything is fine, but it's obviously not. They keep using the baby as a weapon in arguments, and it all ends where one of them dies. ... Yeah. 𝔤𝔤𝔫𝔫? Nonce. You're a strange man, onion. 𝔤𝔤𝔫𝔫. Sorry. Just slipped up. I didn't mean that. Now the situation between 𝔤𝔤𝔫𝔫 and his, his first spouse and also his spouse's little sister is honestly, it's just a really messed up situation. I think he's a troubled man with some trouble issues who needs to be handcuffed to a lamppost naked. Now it's time for Shiloh's story. This one's a bit graphic and there's a lot of information to do with this. It's a very sad one as well. Shiloh was the girl that 𝔤𝔤𝔫𝔫 started dating after his first spouse. If I'm correct, I'm sorry if I'm not. I'm not sure part of the timeline all of his spouses took place, to be honest. But this was a relationship that 𝔤𝔤𝔫𝔫 controlled and manipulated himself. So without further ado, folks, I'd like to take you to the dissection of manipulation. For all you new people, it's basically a divider of engagement that I use to keep people entertained and change the dynamic of the video because I'm always trying to find the next level of commentary. So let's go. Dissection of manipulation.
Because the nicest thing about hypnosis
Well, actually, for once I'm here to defend 𝔤𝔤𝔫𝔫. Believe it or not, here's a list of things that he's done good. So, this is a dynamic that you're not usually used to seeing on my channel. The dissection of manipulation, my friends, where I dissect manipulators and show them for the true scum they really are. Now Shiloh, a girl that 𝔤𝔤𝔫𝔫 was dating between the peak of his career. I believe this is the same girl that 𝔤𝔤𝔫𝔫 used to cross the US border with to try and find countries where it was, legal for them to Yes, Onision, I make childish jokes, but I'm not a child, so please stay out of my DMs, my friend. Now, Shiloh was manipulated and mentally abused by Oreo himself. Sorry, Onision. That wasn't even funny. But Onision started dating Shiloh when she was just 17, and he manipulated her a lot during the relationship. There's a clip that everyone talks about where Shiloh was actually having a panic attack, or having a stage if you would, and she actually lost memory of who she was and where she was. She thought she was a 4-year-old child. Now, did Onision be the respectable, loving boyfriend he should have been and phoned the ambulance? Or did he sit there and film it and document the entire thing and then post it on YouTube a few hours later? Yes, you're correct. This man is scum.
How old are you?
For someone to be in that state of panic and not help them will mentally torture and damage someone forever. And that's not allegedly there. That is video evidence of the fact that he didn't phone the ambulance. He just decided to film her instead. That's the kind of person Onision is. Then the situation did escalate when she became more conscious, but rather than remembering things, she thought that Onision actually kidnapped her. But let's be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if that was true anyway, because we're talking about Onision here, a bloke who tried to, you know, chain his ex-girlfriend in the basement.
Hey, calm down. You're in my house, okay?
Now, since these times, Shiloh has decided to come out on Twitter and shed some light on the situation. Did she just innocently have a panic attack and fell into a really bad state all by herself? Or was it manipulated onto her? Well, my friends, this is what Shiloh has to say. June 2011, after having seizures in my sleep unknowingly from the stress, you finished your daily routine with me, and after in the shower told me I was clinically obese and you couldn't pick me up, so I had to lose weight. You continued to confess that you preferred much skinnier, especially Asian looking girls. I had my first grand mal seizure and you left me in the shower to cry and hyperventilate. This caused 3 years of memory loss and you filmed the results. So this tweet could be linked to the time where Onision actually filmed her. Rather than showing what actually caused the panic attack in the first place, you just decided to put her on social media having those sort of seizures and panic attacks. Onision, you belong in prison and have a lesson taught of big blokes with big muscles and mustaches. Don't drop the soap. And here's some more tweets of Onision allegedly being abusive and manipulative towards Shiloh. Was it 1 week or 2 weeks after I moved in that you started locking me out of your editing room so you could masturbate to while I cried begging you not to? Now that's abusive to the mind, that is. That really does affect people in certain ways, and most definitely manipulates the way a person feels. And also jealousy, which is a common manipulation technique that con artists use. When you weren't on top of me 8 times a day most days, you were into jailbait hentai. When you weren't doing that, you were recording editing videos. You had me sleep next to your chair in the office so I could wake up and service you if you needed it. Again, also abusive towards the mind and also manipulative and controlling someone's environment that they live in. This is proving Onision for the scum he really is, but is it true? It's all alleged, but if it is true, like I just said, she's proving you for the scum you really are. Yuffie Kizagi gets EED was the first you showed me. Now there seems to be a link here between one of Sky's tweets and one of Shiloh's tweets. The same genre of has been outed. So it could possibly be true, my friends. Maybe Onision does watch that type of videos after all. He's a sick man. So this is something that Onision also tweeted. I don't need a woman, I don't need a man. I need a piece of worthless trash on their knees begging for more. A piece of worthless trash is a really good way to speak about women or men. Treating women as if they're a piece of worthless trash, or men for that matter, is never a great sign and definitely shows signs of mind manipulation and abusiveness towards humans. Onision tried to play the victim by filming Shiloh pretending to be afraid of her and on what she's capable of, apparently, just to, you know, switch the role a bit to make him look like the victim, because that's what con artists and manipulative people do.
Nothing! You have destroyed me!
Can you take a step back?
No.
I'm backed into a corner.
Then you have to promise to listen to me.
I don't have to promise anything. The police are... Excuse me.
You're going to listen to me.
You know, open the door for the police.
But yes, my friends, that is it for today of the dissection of manipulation. I hope you enjoyed this session. It's very intense and very epic. But yes, I'll see you all next time. Well, I hope you enjoyed this segment of the dissection of manipulation. Just changes the dynamic a bit, makes it a bit more serious, a bit more dramatic with the music and stuff. Don't, like, you know, just take it to heart or anything. It's just the dynamic I use to change the engagement of a video, that's all. Now, let's have a joint conversation about Kai and Sarah. Both victims of Onision, if I should say, but this is probably the first time ever in history the victim has now become one of the suspects. Kai was groomed by Onision from a young age, and later on when they got married and they had a child together, she then began to learn his ways on how to children, and then joined him in the act, basically. What a radiator. You just signed your death sentence, my friend. Well, you're not my friend, because I'm not friends with people like you know, criminals. I just like to put it out there that I have no remorse for Kai at all anymore. I used to a long time ago, however not anymore, because she is literally almost as bad as Onision. Now here's why she's almost as bad. Sarah was a girl that Onision started DMing on Twitter when she was just 14 and continued to pursue her while then further on introducing her to his husband. Oh god, dear lord, please, I'm sorry. Introducing to his husband Kai, where they basically had a, you know, the intentions was to have a best friend relationship, Kai and Sarah, and this is all a part of their master plan to groom Sarah, allegedly. Then when Sarah turned 16, I think some problems happened at home, so Kai did in fact insist that Sarah does move in with her and Onision. Him and Onision. Now this is where their plans started taking place, because with Onision, I don't know if you've noticed, but he really does love the love triangle, if you know what I mean. You know, you got Sarah on one side, you got Kai on the other, and then you got Onision on top. It was the same with Billy as well. I think I'm correct if it's Billy, I'm sorry if I'm not, but I think he was with Billy as well. Kai, I believe, I think there's some sort of love triangle going on there as well. Now there's alleged rumours that apparently when Sarah did eventually turn 18, Greg actually had sex with her, which literally is the actions of you know, taking a child up from a young age and then having sex with them when they eventually turn 18. There's not concrete evidence, but here's one of the tweets that Sarah's made recently. I hate you and I hate Kai too. You're both disgusting. You took me in as a child who looked up to you guys and completely effed me up in the head for years, only to F me the first chance you got after I turned 18. Burn in hell. Now honestly, there's no concrete evidence to this, but if it is true, Sarah, my heart goes out to you, and my heart goes out to every single victim involved. If it is all true, I gotta be careful what I say, because I don't want to end up in court. But if it is true, I'll tell you what, I'll wrap you both up in my curtains and feed you to the local pigeons. How about that? Huh? Or maybe we'll have a shootout on the street. You know? A shootout! There's a fucking shootout! Like a western.
A shootout, right, is a fucking shootout! Like a western.
Now, there's not much information that Sarah's actually come forward with recently, but if you want to see a lot of that, it is all in my last video, literally. I would only be repeating myself at this point. But yes, lads, if you did enjoy the video, then don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel. I'll be bringing more videos out like this in the future. Well, if you'd like to see more like this, or if you'd like to see some more humor ones, let me know. But without further ado, lads and lasses, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.
Most of the time when these people be talking, I don't even hear them. They talk, but I do not hear shit when I'm near them.